Ayo, ayo, ayo. We got our new clip-on mics and we're trying to figure it out. Took an hour and it took even more time when Maury wasn't here. I felt like shedding a tear.
But you figured it
out. Oh, RIP. Okay, so on the agenda today, we have.
Because we're working for an hour, should we pick the smallest thing?
I mean, the smallest thing technically
is the elevator pitch.
Is elevator pitch.
Okay.
So, I mean, that might be too small.
Say it again. Oh my god, you're a psychopath. Alright, I can't. You can't fight a psychopath.
Okay, dude. This one wanted to cut my hair. Look at my hair, it looks great.
Show them the back. That's what you like the most.
Elevator pitch.
Yep.
Okay.
Go to the
so
elevator.
You say 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Go to the elevator pitch. We've got an elevator pitch, bro.
Yeah, but you know me, I like starting from scratch.
Yeah, we're definitely not doing that.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about? We spent so much time on it. We're supposed to amend what we actually have. Or did you write it down? No, that was PSI. That was PSI.
No, this wasn't. It was
There's something else here.
Cancel
That's
culture.
PSI. Okay. Go up. That was hers though.
Oh yeah. So right, it was this, right?
Yep. And then yeah. Okay. Should we watch the last one? Get inspo.
Inspo by our own stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the actual TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
What is it?
Bro, I think I can give it a go, bro. Give me a 1 minute.
Okay.
And then we'll compare to market.com.
Okay.
There are many problems facing society. We're not linked to this anymore. There are many problems facing society.
Do we start again?
Okay. Jumping around in ecstasy.
Go.
So we all know there are many problems facing society. Okay. Sorry. So we did this last time, and when there was a mistake, I just need to quickly get familiar with the. Okay. The reason I don't want to watch it is because it might get too. We might create the same thing again, and I feel like if the benefit of iterative process is that it's consistent, and the downside of it is that it's quite slow. So I quite like to forget and try again, because then you can sometimes make leaps and bounds in the wrong direction, but sometimes in the right direction. I feel like the way we started it, I want to start it differently.
Okay. How?
There have constantly been problems facing our society. These problems are inherent in the human species. These problems are potentially inherent to the system. And because of these beliefs, I got the impression when I was growing up that a lot of these big problems simply can't be addressed. They're simply the way that it is. What my hope was initially with when I was starting this venture alone, sad face, was that I wanted to show the children, the youth, and young-minded people, not that my idea was the best idea, because it's not possible for one person to come up with the best idea, but simply to articulate and to show and inspire other people that there are different ways of thinking outside of the conventional paradigm. And the conventional paradigm would be capitalism, communism. The typical paradigm would be Christianity, Islam. And that's one thing that led to the first tool that was created, which was now called the binary tool. The simplest way of comparison is having two things. And as Mario was gracious enough to help me, and I helped her in her company, or I'm helping. Hello, bird. We discovered that rules and tools was one of the fundamental ways in which we want to educate people. And that's what and that, okay. So that, okay. Yeah, so something more like that maybe, along that line.
That's a lot more abstract.
Is it?
Than way more. It's way less clear.
The thing is, what we were saying, it
keep
was
in mind
it was less abstract, but it was also so grandiose that it almost became abstract because of that. Do you know what I mean?
It seems
by that?
ambitious, and we can cut that down. We can make it less, but I feel like you're taking it and you're making it even more ambitious. You're making it more abstract, and I think that you have to keep in mind that you spoke for
but
3 minutes.
Yeah, that's just because I'm trying to get my bearings again. I'm lost.
Okay. Can you stop the timer on your phone, please?
Are you timing us?
You told me to give you a minute.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Ow.
Good job you're ill, otherwise I'd get a bit sassy.
Get what?
Sassy.
Oh my god, they've got a chow. Who on your street has a chow?
Oh.
Maybe they're just visiting someone.
Oh, she usually had. Really, I passed her like on the main road. I didn't know she was here. Maybe she's got friends there.
Oh, that dog
She's
is
gonna
so
be
cute.
creeped out that two people are staring at her.
Probably, with one with a stick in their hand.
I got 2 sticks and I don't miss. Oh Jesus.
So, okay. Do you want to go again? And I'll tell you what I don't like. First of all, don't use words. Another one.
Okay.
Don't use words that need to be internally defined.
Okay.
Like system.
I didn't say system.
You did say system.
When?
Play it back.
Will it?
It's one of the first things you said.
My goodness, I'm too gone. I'm gone. Okay, thank you. Okay.
But you weren't using it in the system sense, the closed loop.
Ah, yeah.
You were using it in a.
Yeah.
Still, don't use that.
Yeah.
Use, that's an abstract word. Just say
okay.
in the world or whatever.
Okay.
Whatever you said.
When we grow up, there are certain problems that I was made to accept. Problems of inequality. Problems of.
We are made to accept.
Well, I don't want to presume.
But it's true.
Claim.
You have to make an assertion at some point. You can't always sit on the fence.
Can't be a wet willy. Okay. So when we're young, there are certain things that we're made to accept. Power structures, inequalities, just to name a few. And
name some more.
Your mom. She's powerful. And we're made to accept it.
That's true. That's true.
Power structures, inequality, inefficiencies, dichotomies. Oh, dichotomy is too abstract. Things such as the strong and the weak.
I think you should put your microphone in the middle, because right now it's like almost perpendicular to your mouth.
Like this.
Yeah. So yeah.
Strong and the weak.
Start again, please.
When we're young, there are things that we're made to accept. What it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman, what it means to be successful. Inequalities in our society. Hierarchies, social hierarchies. Accepting things without questioning them often prevents those things from being improved, whether they're needed or not. So I'm not here to say social structures and hierarchies are good or bad. I'm here to say, let's question them, let's analyze them to at least make them better. And this critical mindset is blah, 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 blah.
Do you want to go again while I run up and pee?
Okay, 2 mics for me. Oh. Okay, guys. I didn't like. I see what Mary means. Okay. I want to design something that is made for humans. Now, a lot of the things that are in our world are made for humans, right? Cups, they have a handle just for us. Even bananas, they've been bred over and over and over again to fit in our hand, to peel, to survive transportation, to ripen at certain times. However, there are other things that that system depends on that are not made for humans. Roads are not made for humans. Car exhausts are not made for humans. Plastic in general, microplastics, are not meant for humans. And so, because of that, I wanted to create a design that was made for humans, that was designed from the perspective of what it feels like to be a human. And I feel like one of the things that is the most human is two. You have 2 eyes, 2 sides to the brain, 2 opposable thumbs. And so that was one of the pillars of the design. 2 and comparison can be seen, I believe, in the most profound sense in things like capitalism versus communism. Capitalism versus communism is not only seen as 2 ways to compare a thing, but they are actually seen as everything in terms of the typical educational system. What I would like to do with Love Build, with rrRAT, rrRAT ain't sticking with me, bro, anymore. I don't like rrRAT anymore. I kept to say.
Thank you.
Is to showcase that there are more than just 2 ways of doing things. Mm-hmm. That's it. You weren't here. You look quite tall.
Really?
Strong and tall. So the way I started it, Mario, was the world that we live in, it seems like a lot of things are designed for us. We have cups with handles. Even bananas have been nurtured and bred in a certain way that they fit in our hand, that they survive transportation. But along with that, there are many things that aren't made for us. Roads are not made for us. They're made for cars and lorries. The exhausts are not made for us. Plastic and microplastics are not made for us. I wanted to create a design that was based on the human experience. And one of those fundamental experiences is 2. You have 2 eyes, 2 sides of the brain, 2 opposable thumbs. And one of those, it's still not that good.
£1.
Is capitalism versus communism. We were shown to believe that capitalism and communism are the only things, whereas the design of Love Build is to illustrate that there are many ways to solve the problems of the future. Amen. Blush. So what if we do the elevator? What if we do the elevator pitch like we did claims? You don't think that's the same thing?
Which was?
Where we made a story. Where we told a story. Or does it can't be like that because of the time restraints? Bless you.
You can tell a story if you want, if it works, if it captures enough for it to be classified as an elevator pitch, or you want to come up with something completely different.
As a child, I was always questioning the teachers. But the teachers didn't get paid to answer my questions. They got paid to indoctrinate me with facts. Turns out, I am the fact. I am the uncomfortable fact that there is a menace within all of us. Isn't that right, Alan?
Rascal.
And I am the rascal.
You could call it the rascal.
Ooh. Look at that smile. He's just a rascally smile. Just because. Okay. See, the elevator pitch that we did was refined. I can't take away from that. It was refined. I just feel like
It's not it.
it ain't it.
That's fine. But I feel
everything
like,
I just did is also not it.
yeah, it's definitely not it.
Okay, sure.
No, it's more so not it than anything has ever not been it, ever. I've got the stick, you can't get mad. Oh, hell, rascala.
Rascala, what is it that you say? What is it that you see from your vantage point?
Everything.
I see the beginning and the end. I see your downfall and your renewal to grace.
The problem I have with the story you told, even when it started, is it's about you. That's quite alienating.
So the reason I made it about me is because two things. One is, in university, they always said, they always said don't use I. It's just, I don't want to try and say we, and then someone looking at that being like, we? Speak for yourself.
But people are always going to say that. By saying we, you allow room for other people to relate to you. But some people you're never going to please everyone. There's going to be people that be like, I've been questioning since I was a sperm. And it's like, yeah, good for you, bro, but the system's literally designed so you don't. That doesn't take away from the fact that, like, we're questioning stuff now. Most people don't question stuff until the day they die. Right? But that doesn't take away from the fact that just because we're questioning stuff, that the system's not designed for you to question stuff. I think more people relate to it than not. And even if fewer people relate to it, we're trying to find those people. Because if you're already questioning it, or if you're so dead set against against the idea of questioning, or you're convinced that you do question, you're probably not the starting target audience anyway.
I was going to start again quite passionately, but then I started it with I.
You can start with I. Let's see where it goes. It just depends where you take it.
Let me tell you what I believe in. It's easy to be bleak in this world that we're seeing. I believe in the kids. I believe in that pure mind, that curiosity, that joy to be alive. That's the thing that is slowly, systematically etched away for the efficiency of the whole. And I believe to cater towards our children, to cater towards the young mind, to cater towards the curious, we have come up and we try and create a certain set of rules and a certain set of tools to help you navigate through your environment, your mental environment, your emotional environment, your spiritual environment, your social environment. All of them sets of rules and tools that can change, that can be crafted, that can be muted by the people that use it. Done. That was like 25 seconds.
What did you say?
I believe in the youth and I want to help them.
It's just about kids.
Pretty much. Youth-minded, young-minded people. I don't see mum using rules and tools anytime soon.
Do you see people our age using rules and tools?
Gamers.
Yeah. Are they youth-minded?
I don't. Yeah, I would say so.
Most people are gamers, though. Or are you talking about a specific group of gamers?
Like
My
I don't
mom's a
s-
gamer, mate. She's obsessed with that
True.
game.
True. Make a little mobile app,
Hmm.
little hyper casual game. Because I don't see Sanya using rules and tools.
I think she could.
I think she could.
I think she would if it's ours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's not.
You mean the Sanyas?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, the
Mm.
Sanyas. Yeah. Sanyas are.
I think if it becomes cool enough, she could. She would.
Yeah, once it's cool, everyone's like, oh, and I'm just like, oh, yeah. But before that,
See, I have no qualms with making it for kids, bro. You know I love kids. You know the kids of the future. Pause. Bio, honestly, we need to have a conversation about you and your dirty mind.
dirty.
Dirty.
Pause. It's not about dirty.
It's
Listen,
about how it sounds. And how does it sound? Dirty.
not dirty.
Why does it sound then?
It just sounds dangerous.
Dangerous. Why? 'Cause it's
She
dirty.
just sticks running away from you. Like, get me away. Don't worry, bro. I got you, bro. I got us. Listen, I'm here to save that which is within you. That spark of curiosity, that love for life that you thought you forgot, but I remember. And I believe in you. I love you.
I love that. I love that. It's just not an elevator pitch.
It's not an elevator pitch, you're right. Because what am I selling? Inspirational clips.
Exactly. That's the point. That's the point. We need something a bit more.
Ooh, I'm getting hot.
I thought you said something completely different. Give me. So then maybe we're okay. What would you say to Helen?
Mm-hmm.
Explain
Exactly.
this to Helen.
Thank you. So see, Mario brings clarity to situations.
Clarity.
You know? I'm up here like in one of those little clouds, and you're like, Rin now. You see, the thing about Helen is, I feel like she trusts the system way more than is reasonable.
Uh-huh. Most people are like that though. Most people are Helen. You have to keep that in mind. I think most people.
Is Helen a Labour voter? I don't think so.
Helen was a farmer who probably supported Brexit. I don't know her opinion on Brexit. She likes the royal family.
Brexit.
That's a big chunk. Keep in mind that Helen's got qualities of a lot of. She values like traditional success. Helen likes the royal family. I think that's usually an indicator. She is pro kind of individualism. That's a lot of people, bro, in the UK. It's a lot of people in the UK at least.
That's not what I would. That's not what I. Okay. But that's not what I was. Like all those things, fine, you know.
Okay.
I was mainly talking about. I feel like because Helen's worked hard and she's had success based on that hard work.
Yeah.
She correlates that with reality, where if she was in another country or if she was from had a different kind of upbringing or whatever, that same amount of hard work wouldn't have given her the same level of reward.
Yeah.
And I think the latter is the reality. The latter is my auntie in London works a lot, and most of that money goes straight into rent.
Mm-hmm.
And someone else who was living in a different situation could work 20%, 30% less than her, and have a house, and have holidays, and have a peace of mind that my auntie just doesn't enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I mean with because the system happens to have worked well for her, she overvalues how well it works as a whole. I've not really ever heard her, maybe we need to just ask her straight up, but I've never heard her talk about inequality.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like if you're working class, whether you voted Brexit or not, whether you voted UKIP or not, whether you voted Tory or not, you know there's inequality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where because part of what allows me to keep going when I feel like I want to give up is these fundamental things that are very serious.
Like inequalities.
Like inequality. Mm-hmm. Like excessive suffering. Suffering is part of the human experience. Mm-hmm. I don't want to take away suffering. But there's a diminishing returns on suffering.
100%, yeah.
And I think a lot of people are off on that diminishing return scale, where they're suffering a lot and they're not really learning that much from that suffering, or they're not doing much other than. And how when I look at a child and I look how playful they are and how optimistic they are, how much they love life and how curious they are, and I look at their older sibling and how they've already changed, how they already like drag their feet, how they're already tired, how they're already wearing clothes they don't want to, how they're already like closed off because they've been taught that they can't express themselves in the ways that they want to, because you're not allowed to run around when you have to sit in a classroom. You're not allowed to yell when you have to listen. Not saying that's not saying you should never do those things and that school is bad in general, but they're simply observations that I've made, and so I want to counter that.
Okay.
With rules and tools.
Okay. How would you tell Secunda?
Okay. So Candace taught people, a lot of kids in the past.
Yeah.
Have you, being Secunda, have you seen a correlation between kids that enjoy learning and their grades? My guess is that the kids that enjoy learning get better grades. Mm-hmm. Why is that? I would argue it's because they have fun doing it. Mm-hmm. There's a level of satisfaction, there's a level of challenge and overcoming that challenge. Mm-hmm. There's a level of acquiring something new and your curiosity being met. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have that fun associated with learning, learning becomes a chore. Mm-hmm. Learning becomes something you do as a means to an end, or a means to appease an outside force, the government, the teacher, your parents, your employer. And I think that's one of the first ways to really take the soul out of someone. That's how it felt like for me. Mm-hmm. And so if we can, through these games, through these systems, through these rules and tools, if we can educate whilst maintaining fun, if we can educate whilst introducing playfulness in the right doses at the right time, I think that could do a great deal for the trajectory of our future.
How? Would be Secunda's question. It's like, that's great, but how? Run. Okay, alright, okay. What about, so you'd only talk to him about one aspect of it?
Yeah.
About education.
But education is the number one thing. Remember when we both wrote it down? Mm-hmm. Education was number one. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think we can elevate pitch all four
at once, yeah.
Because we've got education, visualizing society via social connections, visualizing emotion, visualizing ideas. Mm-hmm.
What was the fourth one though?
I think that's what.
Visualizing emotion wasn't the fourth one.
It was in one of my other notes, maybe not that one. Oh,
go down.
Education, visualizing ideas, visualizing society, and money for hood kids.
Oh yeah, money for hood kids. Yeah. You're right. It's very difficult to do an elevator pitch about all four.
All.
That doesn't seem way too ambitious because, okay, the thing is we're trying to create a bunch of rules and tools, and so we could do a pitch for each, or each general guiding principle, and depending on who you're talking to, you use a particular pitch. If they don't respond to one, you can move on to the other. You have them in your arsenal, right? Like for someone like me, I think I'd respond a lot to the education part, but also to the visualizing ideas part, because that stuff's just really interesting. I'd probably respond to all of it. That's why I'm here. Okay, so do we want to break it down?
I think we have to break it down.
Let's start
Hammer
there.
style. Hammer time. Okay. And then we can say, when you see someone, you can be like, what will Helen respond best to?
Should we PSI this then? The broken down version? Or do you want to freestyle it?
Let me get just a lay of the land, and then we'll PSI it.
Okay.
Okay. So, education. Okay. I mean, I feel like education, the go-to that I've been saying for a long time is, education is meant to prepare our children for the future. And the future that children are being prepared for right now is diminishing. And the future that is increasing isn't really being catered towards.
What do you mean diminishing? Oh, the future that they're preparing.
So we're using a Victorian style system that's been modified for the office workspace. You sit down inside and you do some kind of computation, some kind of problem solving. That's, 2022, look around. That's already less popular than it was 25, 30, 40 years ago.
What do you think is the purpose? Not what is the current purpose. Forget Chomsky, forget all of them. What do you think the purpose of education should be?
To pass down valuable knowledge from our ancestors, one. That has to do with kind of memory, basically. Fact that boiling water makes it safe to drink. There are millions of people in the world that don't know that. There are people that will die this week because of that. Maybe they didn't have access to boiling the water in the first place, but maybe they did. So simple knowledge. What do you want?
Pen and paper. I just want to jot these down real quick because I feel like I remember better when I can visualize it in a way. Why'd you tear it like that?
I like that pen. It turns into a sticky note.
Okay. Carry on.
Passing down knowledge from our ancestors. And introducing tools and how to use them. That's the broad answer. That's it.
What do you mean introducing? I don't know what that means.
Mathematics is a tool.
Okay.
Critical thinking is a tool. Woodworking is a tool. Cooking, like knowing how to use a pot and a pan, knowing how to season with Szechuan pepper is a tool. If that's too broad to be called a tool, then we'll call it something else.
Okay, I know what you mean by tool. Sure.
And
like
that's
introducing skills.
Skills. Yeah, exactly. Skills. Yeah.
E.g., woodwork.
Woodwork, critical thinking, logic, empathy.
Okay.
managing to, like,
think
your
that's a
body is a
very good
chemical
answer.
factory, and you need to, if you can, the better you can manipulate those chemicals, the better you can control and deflect and diffuse and combine those chemicals, the better you can react to your situation.
I agree. Okay.
So that's education. Second one is visualize society via social connections. So the government benefit from the idea of being omnipotent and omnipotent, because that way, according to Orwell, each individual citizen polices themselves. Whereas in reality, the government are working blind in a lot of respects. They don't know who you're talking to. They don't know who you paid in cash. They honestly don't know who you paid if you wire transferred it. They're using your goodwill and your fear in order to collect the right amount of taxes.
And a certain amount of reporting. Like, a lot of, so bank transfers over 5,000, I think, are randomly reported to HMRC.
Okay. Interesting. So, interesting. Now, in reality, the government is working blind. This is not something that either the individual civilian or the government want to accept, because the government gives them a lot more control of the situation, and the individual doesn't want to think that the person who's driving the bus is blind. And so,
that would be a great visual. It might get us cancelled straight off the bat, but a great visual. Also really funny.
We could avoid the word blind. We could say the train is so long that it's
it's blind. The funny part about it is the blind.
It's
like realizing literally you're in a car and the person turns around, they've got no eyes. Like no eyes, just like hollow. Well, that's freaky alongside the fact that they can't see.
So the way to buy.
We're tricky. We're setting each other up. You set me up. I set you up.
Solution. My potential solution to that is, my suggestion to that is, visualizing social connections. That way, with certain symbology, with certain movements.
It's just visualizing society.
Yeah. So if you imagine the map of the UK, you could see a bunch of circles which would be users. You would see their connections with one another. They can be still random. You can see how a policy changes those connections. The frequency, the color could associate to emotion. You could see how a policy creates from blue to red, from red to yellow, where blue is depressed and red is angry and yellow is joyful. And then the system can get feedback on what they're actually doing. Because there are two things that happen with politicians. There are politicians that are just negligent and just care about their own career. But there are a bunch of politicians that genuinely believe they're doing the right thing and they genuinely want to be doing the right thing. But why does no one vote in our age group? Said it dramatically. Why do so few people vote? Because they believe that the politicians don't do anything. They don't get anything done. So you've got this gap between someone who wants to get something done and the recipients of that action not believing that anything is getting done. And the way that can be helped is with a positive feedback loop. And that's what a visualizing society might solve or help to solve. Visualizing ideas is a similar concept. Seeing is believing. And we want to leverage the power of the internet. We're in the informational era right now. The fact that I can't speak Chinese properly yet, or Purto, or Hindi, but I can reach them online, is a well of potential that can't be accessed. So if we can visualize concepts in clear, abstract way, in clear symbology, someone else could not only try and address and solve a problem that they previously wouldn't be able to, because seeing has so much intuitive understanding to it. simply mapping out an idea might make it more obvious why it would or wouldn't work. Might make it obvious what needs to happen to it in order for it to become a solid idea.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that, and we can have better ideas. And then we can also work on ideas in conventional mediums, on YouTube, on podcasts. These ideas can be mapped out. And when you look at a 3-hour-long podcast, you can look at the ideas that were covered alongside it and say, oh, I care about that. You click on the idea you like, it skips to the timestamp of the podcast when that was mentioned, and you can follow the journey along from where it happened. If you have your own podcast or your own blog, you can add on to what was said there and develop the idea or branch off the idea into another genre. And then finally, something close to our hearts is $4 for hood kids. And that is monkey see, monkey do is a very real reality. It's very real. Almost everything that I want to do is because I've seen someone else do it. And because of the internet and because of my privileged upbringing, I've seen a lot of people make money in a lot of different ways. And that has inspired me to try and attempt those things. If I only saw successful people who were drug dealers, then I would connote success with drug dealers. Mm-hmm. And often it's either drug dealing or like be a doctor. And if you've already been kicked out of school or you're already bored at school because it's not playful, it's not fun.
You're not doing well.
Then what's left?
Mm-hmm.
And so providing a way to, what I like to say, quantize culture. Because what do poor people have? They have time and they have their body. And my argument would be they're the two things you need to create culture. And so if we can quantize culture, we can help the markets understand the value of it, because it needs to be quantized first before it can have a value, really. That's how the system works at the moment. And once that has been established, maybe if we can't even give money directly to these poor kids, at least they can see someone doing it and they can aspire towards something else other than what they see immediately around them. Because even on Instagram, you'd be like, oh, well, they have the internet, but they're on social media. And on social media, what you have rappers, if you're a guy, if you're a girl, you have like models or forex traders, all things that on most people can't do those things. Yeah. So that's it. I think that's been about an hour. We've got 8 minutes. So you want to PSI it? Through PSI the first education? Or?
Yeah. Whoa, it's a big boy. What is the problem? Did you not want to start a new one?
Education. Lack of fun. Training. It's antiquated.
What does that mean?
Dated.
That word has like 14 syllables.
But it sounds dated. That's kind of why I like the word. Like antiquated sounds antiquated. I don't know how you want to say this, but focusing on exam result, like on exams, very exam oriented.
Output heavy or results based?
Categorize, yeah.
Like it's narrow in its
objective almost.
Okay.
Like is it? Yeah.
So you have
No, you got so good at this now.
that's a cool A. It's got like a haircut.
Little fringe.
Yeah.
How many exams you got? A lot. I was leaning into the mic there. Lack of play. And this might be a bit of a spicy take compared to what's happened before. No, what you were saying. How are you saying it? It was like your individuality isn't being catered to. That's one thing that I found quite fun in college, because in high school the teacher would say, "But is that the right answer, or is that the right way of doing things?" Whatever. And the way it's questioned, I wouldn't be listening because I'm not a very good student. And I would know that the answer is no. Most kids would know that the answer is no because of the way the teachers formulate the question. So even when the teacher is asking you to question, they're actually asking you to understand the nuance of the way something is formulated to know what is actually meant as opposed to question. And in college, in media studies, some teachers would ask a question like that, but use it as a bait. To kind of like, so that's why I thought college was quite fun, because it would kind of be a refreshing contour to that.
Like kids don't know why they're at school.
Yeah, because you have to be.
That's it. Yeah. That's not a real.
Because it's important.
Exactly. What does that mean, mate?
Yeah.
Why am I studying Shakespeare? Like why? Really why? It's like the same dude again and again and again. Tell me why. Because I don't know why. Why am I studying maths, miss? I never use maths. We've got calculators now. That's what everyone used to say.
And then the answer would be, you're not going to get a calculator in your pocket. Wrong!
Even if you do, it's like, that doesn't matter. We used to have non-calculator exam papers, even when calculators existed. What if I choose to carry a calculator around? Nope, not in this exam. Tell me why. Like, why?
There was...
What's that then?
Social structure. I feel like we're not taught about lots of social phenomena. You're just meant to get it.
Okay. Does not.
Like hierarchy, you just accept it. They don't say why it's good. If you don't say the risks and the benefits, you just accept it.
That's a clue. Yeah?
And that's it. Pretty much.
Yeah. Sammy
Is Wumbawin.
is Wumbawin. Never say that again, Bio.
I don't care about your ick. Wumbawin! Wumbawin! In the wind. That's right.
Guys,
That's
I
right.
don't feel safe in this house. You know what that is? It's creepy.
Wumbawin is creepy.
That's even creepier. It's creepy, bro.
That's a you problem.
I mean, yeah, that's basically everything. You saying you wouldn't sleep with a girl or wouldn't marry a girl who slept with 100 men.
That's not what I
That's
said.
a you problem.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
That's what he said.
That's not. I don't know what you're leading into.
That's
I don't know what you.
That's what he said.
I said if I had a choice,
Yada 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 yada.
I'd choose something else.
What's the difference?
Would you marry someone who eats meat?
Yes.
If you had a choice between a guy who genuinely eats meat and a genuinely doesn't eat meat, which one would you choose? Exactly. So that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Doctor, please get in here.
We got a code red. There's a code red on 4-1.
The creep is unraveling.
You know, it's actually really not okay that you're calling me a creep. For saying wibbly or something. I can't remember what I said.
I didn't say. Okay, that was the first time I called you a creep. I wasn't even talking about you. I was talking about the creep.
Gaslighting.
I said it's creepy. It's creepy. You said that's a you problem. It is a me problem. For me, it's creepy.
How?
It's creepy when dudes adopt baby talk. It's really creepy when girls do it too. It's creepy,
Give me an
bro.
example. Sell me.
What?
Sell me.
Sell you what?
Sell me this idea. Like, give me an example.
Should I baby talk on camera?
Just give me you don't have to do that. You just give me an example of when it's creepy.
Always, like almost always.
Like,
especially
I hurt
unprovoked.
my finger. Okay. Like if you're an adult, you'd just be like, yeah, it's fine. Logically, it'll heal in about 2 to 3 weeks.
I understand there are nuances, right? I understand that sometimes it seems called for. If something like that happens and you go back to your child self, whereas, what did you say just now? It was unprovoked. It was unprovoked.
You said your tummy was wumbling.
I said rumbling and you said wumbling. I don't know why. For me,
I feel like I'm being shamed for being a man.
You're not being shamed for being a man.
This is what it's like to exist.
No. A lot of guys don't like it when girls baby talk either. It's like, why
I've
baby
never
talk?
heard that. No, if you do it a lot, yeah. If you do it a lot. If
a guy really likes a girl that baby talked all the time,
but yeah,
would that be creepy?
I mean, the guy's a loser, but
no. Is he a loser or is he creepy?
He's a loser. He's not.
Is he not creepy?
No.
If he wants a girl, then why do you want her to baby talk all the time?
Whoa.
No. Legit.
Wants a girl. He
Yeah.
likes her for who she is. She also baby talks. He finds it endearing.
I didn't say that. This was my guy. I don't know why you've given him the whole backstory. Single dad. He's misunderstood.
the sole reason he likes this human being is
Not
because
so.
you go talks like that, then yeah,
Not
that's
so.
creepy, bro. That's
He
creepy.
encourages her to baby talk.
All the time. Yeah, that's
He
creepy.
just
man.
likes it. That's
weird.
a bit creepy.
That's weird.
Why
yeah.
is it creepy?
Because you're an adult and she's behaving like an infant.
And that's why it's also creepy when people do it unprovoked. That's why. It's not always. It's not always, right? It's just if you're a frequent baby talker.
By frequent, you mean about once a week?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not that common. It's not like you break into baby talk.
When you're in a shower. You go shower. Wait, how is that not creepy?
That was a baby talk. That was the beat, bro.
That's pure baby talk. No,
the coolest thing about that wasn't the baby talk aspect of it. The cool thing about that, you can call something cute, but that's an actual baby. It's not an adult pretending to be a baby.
So if I think this is all about the patriarchy and how men aren't allowed to be cute.
You're allowed. You do loads of cute stuff. You're allowed to be cute. I encourage it. I always tell you, oh, that was really cute. That wasn't cute. That was creepy. Again, maybe it is the patriarchy, and maybe I need to dismantle something within me. I get a feeling that it's not.
Okay.
It's just, there are some things that are like gut instinct. You know what I mean? Anyway, going forward.
Your stomach is rumbling.
Rumbling, yeah.
I shall.
No.
That.
This is, you're straw manning it. It's not cute. It's not nice. It's not nice.
It's not. I don't feel nice. I feel like a creep now.
Don't. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Just because you did something creepy. I do creepy things all the time. It doesn't make you a creep. It's like when I used to stand in front of Manchester University with signs staring at people. I was proper creepy, you know. It doesn't make me a creep.
Yeah, but you didn't do that often.
I did it every single time we were there.
Yeah, you're right. I have a more tolerance for creep as a man, you know, because I can just like.
Exactly.
That's why you got to start jogging, dude.
Soon come.
Solution. One boy. Intruder alert. Code red on 40. Is that a bunny rabbit?
See, that's cute. It's not creepy.
It's a little creepy if you put some teeth on it.
Yeah, but that's not creepy. You go with teeth.
I guess. Wait, what's the thing on the top? It's just hair. I thought that was his ears. Oh, is that just fluff? Oh, this is turned into a nice little. Oh, look at that pen control. Okay.
Encourage.
Systems that don't break down when you ask questions about it.
I feel like there's going to be some pushback to this. Like, what? You're going to say that it's okay to question whether terrorism is right? It's like, yeah.
One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
Whoa. That's not where I was taking it.
That's Nelson Mandela was a terrorist. He incited terror in South Africa. He's also a freedom fighter.
Okay. What I was saying is,
okay.
Sometimes always.
Oh,
in
we're
order
definitely banned. You said the T word.
Really, you can't say that. Yo, navigating YouTube's hard.
Yeah, that's why people don't like it.
Are we never gonna get any views ever because of our past history? YouTube, we've changed.
That was all in the past.
Okay. Okay, my thingy about what you just said was you need to question rather than be told X is bad, that's indoctrination, If you don't reason, then you don't develop the ability to think for yourself, and then in the future someone else can come because you've just got a bunch of tools. You've got a bunch of facts that you hold true. If someone comes in and kind of wobbles your worldview and introduces another idea, now they're like, actually, X is good, because all you learned was like you got a chip inserted inside you. X is bad. Now someone else who's a more, as Mortimer J. Adler calls it, a more powerful orator, so someone really charming, like that German guy back in 1939. If I say his name, what's going to happen?
Please. We're already blacklisted. We're going to get black hole listed.
Exactly. So that guy, and he was like,
X is
actually, God. X is good. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to be able to question everything and not be told stuff. Mm-hmm. You need to come to a conclusion yourself. You need to, not in isolation, along with other people, but you need to have the ability to question. Yeah, okay. And this is what I was talking to Julian about freedom of speech. That's why I think freedom of speech is important. Because you should be allowed to question stuff.
Now, here's the thing that I really want to provide.
Okay.
Awareness.
Okay.
And I think applying awareness to this is the acceptance of everything is an exchange, and that making your students question more, making your students more critical, is a destabilizing factor for the community and or society, as I said. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of what do you call them? People who work in universities, intellectuals and academics. Mm-hmm. A lot of academics don't address that. They either say people's critical thinking skills have been kept down because it would be a threat to society, or it's important to have our kids think more critically. But they kind of don't bring them together, I feel like, in the public sphere. I'm sure they'll do papers on it and stuff. But
how much are you backing this claim that it's a threat to society or a destabilizing?
Yes, destabilizing to the current status quo.
Yeah. So I think they accept that.
I would put a lot of weight behind it. I would put significant.
But they accept that. That's kind of the point.
Who's they?
Like the Chomskys.
Yeah, but Chomsky's is like, special one. I'm talking about that. Most of them.
I think a lot of them, like a lot of the people worth their salt, would accept that. I think that's the purpose, though. It is to go away from this. So I think if you have this, which is the past, and now you have this, which is like relative stability, and then we undergo free thinking, you'll have this. I think the assumption is, and we can't know because we haven't done this, is that it will reach a new stable state, a type of stable state that's different from this stable state. So it could be like...
Sure, yeah. But that up and down is recession, if you were to apply it to the market. But yet we always try and avoid it. Do you understand? Like, just because it's good for you doesn't mean that people won't try and avoid it.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, I think an enlightened youth will be good for the future on average. That doesn't mean it will cause a lot of discomfort. It doesn't mean that it will threaten a lot of people who are in certain positions and threaten their livelihoods.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's accepted. That's built into this idea that the reason that they don't want you to question it is because it will destabilize. Because it is destabilizing.
So, therefore, anyone that pushes this idea will have considerable resistance.
To what?
To the idea.
We mean anyone who pushes this idea.
Anyone pushes the idea of allowing people to think more critically and question more things.
Would resist what?
Will have more resistance.
To?
Their endeavours.
From whom?
From the people that will be negatively affected.
Oh, yeah, definitely, of course.
So you don't want to be seen as a cancer within the system, because then you'll be treated as such. You'll be surrounded and removed, just like Assange.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the...
But how do you get stuff done without being seen as a cancer? Like, how do you really get stuff done? The people who are seen as cancers, Assange did a lot. He did a lot. Like, a crazy amount he exposed. That's why he's being seen. Like, the people who actually do stuff.
Yeah, but what did it do? People just say, yeah, we know war crimes happen, war in it. The average person doesn't know what Assange leaked. The average person probably, I would argue, wouldn't benefit from what Assange leaked. What laws have been passed since?
I think people
How's
have
media
become more
improved?
skeptical.
Yeah, fake news. Just don't believe anything anymore. That's not good either. Like, I think you need to.
It's a symptom
my
of something. It's
previous strategy has been to align with the system.
Who's done that and been successful? So you're saying no one who's been a virus.
I mean, there's loads of stuff.
Like what?
Like science. Like science was against the church, but there were people who believed in science and were Christians, and just avoided the whole we're not in the center of the universe thing, and still plodded on with science. And then when it's too late, they're like, got you, I believe in science law. Which obviously encapsulates all this. But to be like, we want to empower the individual to think for themselves and think critically, I feel like I'm just getting a laser dotted up on my forehead and SAS is outside the door. But if it's like, we want people... I
feel like science didn't do that, though. I feel like science wasn't pretending to be cool with the church.
No, it wasn't.
And I don't think people accepted Einstein or Darwin's theories just because they were Christians.
No, they were persecuted. That's not what I'm saying.
Not those two, but others. So I think the example...
We can get the thing done without saying...
I click this, or do you want to F it? And sorry, I keep doing that.
Like, think about it. If the people outside your house saying they're gonna build a wall in front of you or plant a tree or do something that would be annoying or bad for your house, you're going to try and do something about it as soon as possible. But if they sweep the lawn, if they sweep the front of the house first and they clean the car and they do this and they clean the windows and then they plant the tree or whatever the thing they don't want to do, I think there's a higher likelihood that that tree gets planted and it grows.
So I'm just confused as to how you want to do the thing without saying you're doing the thing.
Because it's emergent.
Emergent from
what?
Awareness?
We create games, we create rules, we create systems.
So we don't say it, then why are we saying it right now? We're on...
It's not about not saying it, it's about how much you push for it. Like how much you... It's like saying, we're selling this, and they're like, what is it? Well, this is a thing that can make you think more critically. No. It's like, inside here is something that lets you think more critically. But the thing that we're trying to do is help you become more aware, or help you get fun from learning and you can learn better, or...
Is this true? Apple doesn't approve apps that address addiction to your phone.
What? I don't know.
That's what I saw on TikTok, and a bunch of people had liked it. I didn't verify it, but I thought that was an interesting
Don't get the tinfoil out, bro.
That's an example of a thing.
But you could package it differently and get the same thing done. Self-help, meditation, anti-burnout, and it does the same thing. Just accept which environment you're in. The big thug is the government. I don't want to get in his way. He's got tens of thousands of people.
A pterodactyl.
He's got tens of thousands of men with tens of thousands of guns, drones, tanks, cages, tax laws. He's the big boy and the big woman.
The biggest boy.
The biggest boy. I don't want to get involved. I just want to go to that big boy and be like, I can help you, because I can. his system's old and it can be better. That's been the strategy.
But what if they realize that people are getting smarter? No, seriously, at what point do they realize that people are getting more individual, they're critically thinking, which is fundamentally against their interest?
Mm-hmm.
What happens then?
Hopefully the relationship with the big boy and the value that we're providing the big boy outweighs it. If not, then that's the thing that I've been trying to avoid, and at least it happens then instead of right at the start.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just maybe I'm just doing a gargo and I'm just being overly paranoid.
I think you might be right with this one. Yo. Bro. Are you scared? I'm scared. I'm being serious.
Should be a bit scared. Means you're doing something fun.
Okay.
It's not about not saying it. It's just about what we put.
Get out of here, you scumbag. Never said it. Destabilizing. What? Introduce gameplay. Make
Britain.
money for rich people.
Well done. Increase efficiency of the workforce.
Widen. So one of the things is it's dated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we want to widen what is taught, what is accessible, I guess. Shut in the dark. Don't know if that's the right spelling.
Tool or ability to manipulate your emotions, so to understand and control your emotions, or understand and use your emotions. It doesn't have to be control. It can just be direct it in a way that's useful for you. Nice. Was that an upside down A? Upside down capital A? Oh, I thought it was. I like to run upside down sometimes. So that link, you don't have to write, but that links into media. The media is always triggering you. Utopia thing, Utopia game. What you are good at.
Get out of here! I'm not that scared.
Oh.
Hold on, let me get rid.
They can see it. They can see it.
No, e-thinking. King.
E-thinking.
Okay. So one thing we want to do is raise awareness.
connect people with themselves and each other. And expression and how that relates to vulnerability. There's the guy in jail when he was saying to his grandma, he wanted to say I love you, couldn't. That's being vulnerable, you know. But he couldn't allow him. His persona wasn't catered in such a way that allowed him to be vulnerable. Stop cooking. Oh, I'll make it quick.
Anything else for this? I'm kind of out of it, man.
I can tell. You woke up at 5, but I'd be out of it too.
Oh no, what have I done? Should we stop the recording for now?
Do you know how to stop this stream? F11 to close it, and then...
Where's YouTube?
That's the edge here. This one. Edge. All right. So forget everything we said. We love Big Corp.
Big Pharma.
Farmers.
Do we turn these off?